Time to see what the wizards are up to.
Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Wizard Weekly. I'm Debbie, and this is, oh wait, I don't know where Rob is. Now, Rob will be here momentarily. I'm going to kick off the stream. First, I just want to congratulate the winner of last week's giveaway. We were giving away Heroes, the Rune of Thandar. This is our campaign deck for Heroes, and it's awesome. And Jason Long, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Jason Longpree from Norfolk, Virginia, won. And I also want to mention while we're mentioning Rune of Thandar, that tonight the Glory Hound channel, which features Kat and Derek Ryder, is going to be playing the Rune of Thandar on their stream live tonight. I think it's 9 p.m. Eastern time. Saffron can post a link below. But I'm really excited. I'm going to be on there watching. And if anyone's interested to see how the campaign plays and wants to see someone play it live, this is like with the physical game they'll be playing on their stream. So I'm really, really excited. They're super fun. If you haven't seen their channel, definitely check it out. And we also will host this on our stream. So if you don't want to forget, you can subscribe to our Twitch channel as well for these types of things. And for this week, our giveaway is Sorcerer Endbringer. And I thought this would be a good opportunity. We had a couple of pieces of art we didn't share last week about Sorcerer Endbringer. I know Rob's been having a lot of fun. Well, sometimes he's happy. Sometimes he gets upset when he can't beat the bad guys. He's been doing a lot of play testing of the solo co-op of Sorcerer Endbringer. But we're giving away a copy of this. Saffron will post a link below on how you can enter to win. But we'll just touch for a moment on what Endbringer is all about. It's our new solo cooperative expansion for Sorcerer. Oh, and I just want to comment before Rob jumps in that when you win something like this that is not out yet, we put you into the Pledge Manager with a credit for the amount for the game. So, and for shipping for your region for the game. So that way, if you didn't have Sorcerer, you want to add it, or you wanted to add some of our other products in the Kickstarter, you have that opportunity to do so. In case you're wondering what happens if you're entering, you will not get this right away because nobody has it. It's not out yet. So I just want to mention that because we usually get a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, and if you happen to have already backed Endbringer and you win the contest, you'll get that additional credit in the Pledge Manager, and you can, get some other goodies. So Endbringer, super cool set for Sorcerer. It has solo co-op. It brings solo and co-op play to Sorcerer. Gorgeous artwork throughout the set, and incredible replayability. Basically, you build a bad guy to play against the same way you build your character in Sorcerer. So in Sorcerer, when you build your character, you choose a character, which is who you are, a lineage, which is what type of magic you've inherited, and a domain, which is where you've been training and gathering followers. And that mix and match allows for tons and tons of different decks. And when you're playing player versus someone, or in multiplayer, of course, there are so many different matchups. So constantly fresh matchups in the game. With Endbringer, you can play against the game itself, and you are fighting against Demigod, who's returned from banishment, and they are very tough, super fun to play against. And in that, you will combine one of these demigods with an army that they're controlling, a horde. And there's also a scenario that you can combine with that. So just like there's 3 components to your Sorcerer, there's 3 components to the challenge that you face, and that gives tons and tons of different of replayability, 64 different possible matchups in the set, and you can play against it 1, 2, or 3 players. Super cool. There's also new characters in the Endbringer expansion. Here we have the gorgeous art for Sigismund. He's a vampire. And we just did an update on the Kickstarter recently with some spoilers on his mechanics. It's super cool. He summons up vampires, brings out these newborn vampires, which he converts. So for an action with him, you can either put 2 of these newborn vampires into the location he's in, or you can set up a fortification. Basically, he builds a vampire coven in part of the city, and that gives bonuses to the vampires in that in that area. So they have various effects, and again, you can see those in the update. And we have some more of the awesome art. We've got this one's Mary, and just, as I said, gorgeous artwork. This is a legendary minion from the set. You can see her card on the update, and then we have here we have got the duelist, Dragonborn duelist. Really, really great sets. Can't wait to get them to our backers. We've been hard at work on all the sorcerer stuff. Peter has been putting out just tons and tons of phenomenal content, and the art team has just knocked it out of the park. Like art piece after art piece in the set is just awesome. So anyway, join the contest this week, and you can, if you haven't gotten Sorcerer yet, you can get some Sorcerer, and if you already got Sorcerer, you can get Endbringer, and if you already backed Endbringer, you can get some extra goodies. So so join up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mentioned before that if you're interested in people streaming our games, then you can subscribe to our Twitch channel as well. But I also want to do a shout out for people that are streaming. So there's multiple people out there that are streaming, and some of them let me know when they're streaming and some of them don't. So if you would like to be hosted on our channel when you're streaming, just send me a message. Facebook Messenger is fine, or you can email me at debbie@whitewizardgames.com. I'd love to host your channel. And if we know ahead of time, we can even post about it and talk about it here on the stream to let people know. And if you're not, and the Star Realms fan page on Facebook, also a lot of people post in there if they're streaming. So if you play Star Realms and you are not a member of that Facebook group, you should definitely join. And we also do try to post things like that in our Discord channel as well. I want to touch again quickly on TotalCon. So we've had some questions. So last week we talked about our new Star Realms tournament functionality. It is now in open beta, so people in the open beta program are testing this out. We did our first test last week, and we're hoping to be able to roll that out for this convention and do in-app tournaments at this convention. There's a Star Realms tournament which has physical prizes here. Saffron can post a link below. But the reason why, so right now, if you go and you register for it, it'll bring you to a Google form to register. And that is because, we need to make sure that's working. So right now we're testing larger tournaments. Anyone that played in the first tournament knows that, we had a couple glitches.
We may not have made it past round 2.
Do you ever be playing in a tournament, but you can't take your turn, but your opponent's taking your turn? That's kind of how it went. And I won my first game, so I was sad. But Bri is stupid, probably would have kicked my butt.
Yes.
He definitely kicked my butt because I couldn't take a turn. He had taken multiple turns by the time I got into my game. But so we're working on fixing those issues. And if we got it all fixed and going and we're able to run a couple of big tournaments and we know it's working, then we'll use that for TotalCon. If we don't, then we'll fall back to the way that we've run tournaments in the past. So that's why for now you register on the Google form that is linked from the TotalCon page. And I think it's in our blog post as well, but Saffron can post the details below. And then before the day of the tournament, we'll send you information about this is how it actually is going to work. So because of this, we're working on this functionality and we'd like to try it out on this tournament. It may or may not be a go. Please, register on the Google form and we'll get you the details as it gets closer. The other couple of events that we're running at TotalCon, which I'm excited about because I don't know if any of you have played on Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia, but we have got feedback that, people aren't really sure about these platforms. They don't really know how to use them. They've never used them before. So we asked our friends at Double Exposure and the Herald program if they could run some sessions where you'll watch. Well, the first person who shows up will play, or maybe two people will play, and then everyone else you just watch. So it's low pressure, and you can watch, and they will walk you through how to use Tabletop Simulator and how to play Sorcerer in one of the sessions, how to play Kapow in one of the sessions in Tabletop Simulator, and then how to use Tabletopia and how to play Hero Realms in one of the sessions. So I am hoping, and it sounds like we'll be able to record those. So after this event happens, we'll share those links out on social media, and we can probably share them here too. So I'm excited about that. TotalCon's also really neat convention, so check it out. You can it's virtual this year for the first time. It's a local convention to us in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Oh, and let's see, my next couple slides are for Rob, but they are a new character for Hero Realms.
Yes, so we've got a Kickstarter coming up for Hero Realms, which is going to have a new base set, a new set like the base set. So this is 80 new cards for your market deck, and you'll be able to play this set on its own, or you can combine it with the original Hero Realms set to get to have a 160 card market deck. So basically, fully playable on its own or combinable with the original Hero Realms, 80 all new cards for the market. So super exciting set. And we also have something that people have been asking for a while: new characters. So there's going to be in this Kickstarter, there's going to be 6 new characters, and these will work just like the fighter and the ranger, wizard, etc., which will allow you to play as one of these character types. You can play against the other characters, and we're going to show off the art this week for one of our most requested characters, which new character classes, which is the Bard.
Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to get to the thing.
Which is the Bard.
Everyone loves the Bard. Saffron likes to be a Bard.
Yeah. This is the Bard, one of our 2 Bard artworks, and the card. All the characters in Hero Realms have double-sided artwork, so you can choose which you want to use. Can we show the other one as well?
Rob wants to know about retail, so we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah. So 2 different artworks for the Bard. I love both of them. This is the Bard's fun new class, and has mechanics that interact with actually all the different factions. Some of their cards interact with each of the different 4 factions in Hero Realms. So the Bard is all these new classes are super fun to play. We've been having a blast with them.
Both of these are so. I love this outfit.
Yeah,
I want this outfit. Maybe
I sense some cosplay in your future.
Games, I should need to wear that at a convention. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a very reasonable business expense.
There's so many good ones to dress up as.
Yeah.
So to answer Rob's question about retail, so Rachel Lasky on our team is leading up our initiative with our retail and distribution partners, and she's doing some work on that. But we've done it different ways in different Kickstarters, but I think where we're heading with that is to make it work best for retailers, is that you would make a very small commitment at the time of the Kickstarter, and then as it gets closer, we would do pre-release kits where retail stores that participate will get access to some of the Kickstarter exclusive items in a limited quantity. As you probably know, Rob, we limit the quantity for retailers for the Kickstarter, and we have usually a set combination of items for retailers, just to keep the logistics a little bit simpler for us.
So we do like kits. We're basically and pretty much all the stretch goals and Kickstarter exclusives from that Kickstarter end up being in the kit, and with limited quantities, as Deb mentioned. So
yeah, and so if people would prefer to partner with their local retailer and work that way, they can and get it from their local retailers. We typically, a lot of retailers will ask, well, are we going to get it when the backers get it? And backers ask, are the stores going to get it before we get it? And generally what we do is we do all the backer shipments, and then we do the retail kits like immediately after that. So you will be able to put those in your stores significantly before the actual retail release date of that product. But you likely won't get your shipment, before a backer in your area, but it'll be, within a pretty short time frame after that. And that's a logistics issue for us as well. We just, those ship out differently than the individual backer.
And those kits are for brick and mortar stores only, of course.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Brick and mortar stores only. So I hope that answers your question. Let me just see if, okay, Rob likes that, so cool. And we have Rachel is awesome. Yes, she is. And Peter thinks the flute is cute. Andrew wants to see the mechanics. Awesome. All right. So, and then I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the arena. We also have some new Kapow solo.
Yeah. So
boards.
let's bring up the Kapow solo. So we've got, we are, I'm continuing to do the design for all the various solo boards for Kapow. I'll do another update to the Kapow Kickstarter with all the boards that we've covered since the last one. And more importantly, we're going to be we're working right now to put the solo boards up onto the tabletop simulator. So basically, we've invited our backers and others to come on to the tabletop simulator Kapow page and try out the new characters. This is an opportunity to play with that Kickstarter content early, before basically well before the shipping date for it. And we're doing this as an opportunity to get more play testers, to let the community be our fan community become part of the playtest process. Normally we do playtest sessions physically in our office, invite people in, etc. But with COVID, obviously that's not a possibility. So we're pushing to put our content up on Tabletop Simulator and give everybody an opportunity to play early. We've got the solo board for Crescendo, and we also have a solo board for his Reverb, his arch nemesis. So
our 6-year-old's favorite.
Yeah, she loves this one. Yeah. Wow. So with the solo boards, you can play against these guys, and when you're playing them against them, they get the health and dice from their PvP side. They're the ones you'd normally get. And you, as a player, take your turn normally. You roll your dice, you place them on your boards, plan out your move, just like you would when you're playing against a person. And then once your moves are set, when you normally lift up your screens and resolve the turn, at that point, you roll the dice for the bad guy, and you place those dice from the top of the board down. So you have to do, if you can do the first one, you have to. If you can do the second one, you have to, and so on down the board until all the dice are used up and activate those abilities. And some of the abilities don't take any dice at all. They're just regular abilities that the character has for free. And then there are other abilities that take dice to activate. And each of these characters has some different powers on their solo boards so they have different mechanics. They're playing, of course, different starting health and different starting dice. Reverb is particularly nasty in that she'll swap one of her dice with you at the beginning of the game, which can totally mess with your character's plans. So yeah, we've got more, constantly have new boards coming. And this is this is the last step, the last thing to be designed. The solo play was a stretch goal in the Kapow Kickstarter, which got unlocked. So now every single character in the game will have a solo play side and a regular play side. So you'll be able to do any solo matchup that you want within the game. So we're super excited about that, and we're getting to the last bits of the Kapow design. So we'll be excited to get that done, and then we're going to put it all up there on Tabletop Simulator. You guys will be able to play through it, give us feedback. We'll make tweaks based on that, and then get the files ready for the printer.
Yeah, I want to comment just briefly on the solo mode. In the solo group that I belong to, there was a little chatter about whether or not you should beware of Kickstarters that have solo as a stretch goal. Sort of the implication is that if it's a stretch goal, either it was already designed and they're just trying to like give you a stretch goal that should have just been in the game already, or they're just going to like barely do solo and it wasn't really designed for solo, so it can't really be that good. And I was reading that and I was like, wow, no, that is not how we did it. It was not designed in the game. It was something that we've talked about. We talked about doing solo for all of our games. We've realized and noticed that a lot of people are playing a lot more solo now, and people are getting into it. And I think even after COVID, people will still want to play a lot of solo. So we had talked about it, and and I kept bringing it up. Well, we could do this as a stretch goal. And then Rob's like, well, I don't want to put it as a stretch goal unless I know how it will work. And his mind started churning, and then he came up with a solo design. We put it in a stretch goal, and then he thought it was super fun, and he committed to do it for every single hero and villain. Yeah. So like every weekend now he is designing solo. So it wasn't the design wasn't there. It was the initial sort of concept was proven out before we put it on as a stretch goal.
Yeah, basically I had one of those like design eureka moments where basically Debbie had put this bug in my ear about, well, it'd be really cool if there was solo. I was like, I don't know, like we don't, the game doesn't have solo. But and I was sort of churning on this this problem, and as often happens, like basically you sleep on it, you wake up and it's like just the idea was there, and I couldn't wait to like get it get it designed and test it. And I designed it, tested. I did the first solo with 235, the nuclear powered villain. It was really fun.
We live streamed it so people could see how it worked, and we actually did get quite a few people, solo players, that backed it because of that.
Yeah,
so,
so that was fortuitous that we got a design we were really excited about for solo play for that game. But if we hadn't come up with a cool way to do it, we just wouldn't have added the solo. It was it was a requested feature, but it happened that we were able to come up with a cool way to do it.
Another streamer here mentioned. So yeah, I should make a list, and maybe we can share a list of Twitch streamers in our next newsletter and on a slide in one of these streams. So I think I've answered. There's a lot of comments on here, but Rachel's saying, I love our retailers. We all love our retailers. If anyone has a local, retail store that you go to, a game store that you go to where you buy your products, or a game store where you go to and you don't see our products, we're actually reaching out and doing a lot of one-on-one, Rachel is reaching out and doing a lot of one-on-one conversations with retailers so we can get a better feel for like what's going on in retail stores, how can we better serve them and better serve our customers and learn more about their customer base. So if anyone has a favorite store, post it below, or you can send it to us in a message on social media. We, are doing that work, and we'd love to hear about any of your favorite stores as well. A little shout out for Rob Gruber, one of our he's actually in multiple cards in our games because he plays competitively as well. He has Good Time Games, and he's awesome. Let's see. And Joseph is demos at stores for Indie Game Alliance. If you ever want demos in your stores, we do have Indie Game Alliance, and we have the Double Exposure Program who can do demos for your stores. And we can also set up virtual demos for your store. So if you had multiple people that were interested, that's something we can do too. And you can always jump into our Discord and be like, hey, can anyone show me this game? We might not be able to show you immediately, but we could schedule some time with you to show you. So definitely Okay, definitely let us know if you want to try a game. So Luke is waiting on a replacement card, and emailed support again. So support, if you're watching this, please check the email from Luke. Luke will take care of it. We'll make sure that's taken care of between now and next week. I don't know if we can get it to you between now and next week, but we've taken note that you have a request in with us for a replacement card. We did have it took us a while to get organized in the new location with our inventory because we were planning to temporarily move, but we're all set up. Our stuff's organized. We're doing mail outs. This week we didn't do a mail out because of the snowstorm.
Yeah.
But we are doing mail outs once a week, at least, sometimes twice a week for spare parts from here in the Boston area. So but shipping is very delayed, but we'll look specifically into yours. And if for some reason, if anyone else is waiting on something, send an email to support. You don't have to wait like 3 months in between your emails. Just send an email. We get huge influxes of emails and we try to get to every single one, but we did have a period where we had some backup in being able to send out replacements. So if for some reason you fell between the cracks, just send another email. Don't, feel bad. Just yell at us. No, ask us nicely. We'll get you what you need. And sometimes we didn't have everything in stock, but
Sure.
now, the person that's doing the mail outs knows how to order the product if he doesn't have it.
Yeah, we finally got that organized. So let's see, we've got High Alert and Epic Jungle. So yes, I just actually I don't know if we posted.
You haven't posted it yet.
It's about to be posted.
Crossed.
It's written, but it's about to be posted. So we'll post it right after this thing. It's been incredibly chaotic trying to get these shipments going. Like, oh my gosh, it's so hard right now. Like everybody's trying to move stuff out before Chinese New Year. Plus there's all the COVID craziness, etc. But knock on wood, right now we're looking pretty good. We have shipments scheduled over the next few days going out of China, heading to the EU, Germany specifically, the US, the UK, and Australia. The stuff going to Asia is going to be shipped after the Chinese New Year. But right now we're on track to get all those other locations out of China before the Chinese New Year. Now, it's not a guarantee until it's on the boat and the boat's, the boat shipped, the boat's at sea. But yeah, right now, looking good for all those over the next couple of days. We've been getting a lot of reports of backup in ports where basically they're just having a hard time getting through stuff. So it's going to take, once it ships, which again, knock on wood, later this week, and then it'll be about 4 weeks at sea, and then it may take a couple weeks to get, once it gets to the port, to get through the backlog. And, so there may be usually it takes a week or two to get to the fulfillment center. It may take a little extra time because of the backup at the ports. So that's going to be a case by case basis. We'll see. And of course, there's always the danger of your shipment being randomly checked for customs, which can take just additional time, if they're, checking for contraband or whatever. But we're, things are looking good right now. There were many scary moments along the way.
Good. We were told nope, no room on any more boats to the UK. And we're like, all right, can you get it on the boat to Germany? And we'll put it on a train to the UK. So we've been,
there's been
a lot of options.
Debbie, John
Pelsack and OTX have been really
working hard,
working very hard. So happy that everything's scheduled to be on a specific boat.
So I'll be posting that update to the Kickstarter momentarily. Basically, I wrote it before the stream, but didn't have a chance to just do a quick editing check and send it out. But I'll be sending that out shortly. And then once we get confirmation on all those shipments, one way or the other, we'll post I'll post another update. It takes a little while to get confirmation. You'd think it would be you'd have a automatic website where it showed you exactly where your stuff was, but that's not really how it works right now. So basically, we're going to be sending lots of emails and anxiously awaiting replies to. But once we have that information, we'll update again and let you know where we're at. So yeah, moving along. Everything's picked up at the factory, shipped to ports. Scheduled for containers and be going out in the next couple days.
I think one was on the last boat out.
Yeah, they're like all on the last boats out for the various regions that they're going to. So if any of these get bumped, like for some reason don't make it onto the boat that they're reserved and scheduled for, then it'll be after Chinese New Year. So it'll add a month basically to the process. Hopefully none of that won't happen to any of them, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, and for those that I know some people were asking about the Hero Realms reprint. That this is the English one that did leave China. It's on its way here. Last I checked, it hadn't yet arrived in the Florida port, but it was pretty close to arriving. That's where there was a lot of backups. Yeah. It was delayed at least a week, I think. So that will be arriving in all regions pretty soon as well. So if you've been trying to get your hands on Hero Realms, that'll be out. Someone asked about a date for the Hero Realms Kickstarter.
So we don't have a hard date for it yet. It'll be in the next couple months ish. So we're putting all the elements that we need for the Kickstarter together, so we're moving that process along, and we're going to give you like little teasers here, as we go, and then we have we'll have once we have a set date, we'll definitely let you know here and also through our email lists, etc. We'll probably have a sign up page and all that sort of thing.
Someone asked about Gen Con, something that they won that they hadn't. So you can email me at debbie@whitewizardgames.com. You can always email our support team, but if you ever feel like you've emailed and you're not getting something resolved, you can email me. I will generally go back to support anyways, but particularly with organized play events and things like that, you can email me. If it's general customer support, definitely go to support@whitewizardgames.com. So I think you were going to talk about
Oh yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about talking about the Star Realms Arena here, because we do the stream weekly. Every week we have a new format in Star Realms Arena. So the Star Realms app is free. You can download it, try out Star Realms. You get a ton of play actually for free. You can play against Easy AI, and there's a bunch of campaign missions to play through. If you like it, you can spend $5 and get the full version, and give the ability to play online with the base set of Star Realms, and also play against the hard AI, unlock more campaign. And also, if you've done the upgrade, you get a free entry every week into the arena. And the arena, you try and get 6 wins before you get 2 losses. So you get to play a game, pair you up against somebody, and then you win or lose. And as you win, as you collect wins, you get little prizes. So you earn credits, which can be used to unlock cosmetics or to get additional arena entries. You can unlock foil cards. So when you buy a card in the game, it'll have some cool effects on it. And you can unlock new avatars and such. One of the really fun things about the arena is the gameplay is very different each time. I remember when we first created the arena, and people have been playing it for a while. Somebody posted on the fan page that after playing a bunch of arena games, playing regular Star Realms was like getting off the trampoline because just stuff has been so crazy in the arena. So we got new formats every week. Super fun to try out. And sometimes it takes your head a little while to wrap around it. Like basically this previous week, we had an arena where you had 4 cards, one of each faction in your starting deck, which really ramped up the speed of the game. Like basically, you were like kind of like in the mid game immediately. And there were definitely some people who were like having a hard time figuring that one out. Yeah, so it was fun. It was very different. I definitely got slapped around a little before I sort of figured out, okay, how does this work, and managed to win to get the 6 wins in.
I like the one with the trade row is changing every time.
But this week's arena has a really cool mechanic where basically when you buy something, you have the option of paying its cost a second time to put it directly into your hand. And so this can be really crazy with ally abilities. It can be really interesting with cards that like scrap, especially stuff that scraps from like your discard pile. So you could be on the first, or your hand, you could be on the first turn of the game, buy a card to your hand and then play it to scrap, say, the Viper that was in your hand. So you could like start scrapping immediately. In the late game, you can buy something and get it directly into your hand. So you have these really interesting decisions, like if you have 8, do you want to buy that like amazing 8 cost super powerful card, or do you want to buy that fairly solid 4 cost card, put it directly in your hand and play it and hit your opponent with it like right then? It's a really interesting.
So how do you win? Luke would like to know. He's lost 4 times in a row.
Oh, so
but he said it's fun.
So I have not yet won this arena. I think I'm currently 2-1 in games in this one. But basically, I'm currently very interested in inexpensive cards in the first way through, and basically getting those directly into my hand, especially those immediate scrappers, and cards with ally abilities. Explorers. Well, I mean, yeah, basically, explorers are really interesting in this format. You got to keep in mind that with this, you can spend, if you have 4 trade available, you can basically convert 2 trade into 2 combat, because you can spend 2 to buy an explorer, spend the extra 2 to put it directly in your hand, then play that explorer, getting back 2 trades. You spent 4 but got back 2, and then you can then scrap that explorer from play if you want to get 2 combat. So late in the game, let's say you had 8 combat, you could spend 4, buy an explorer, you're down to 4 trade, play that explorer, you're back up to 6 trade. You could spend 4 of that to buy another explorer to your hand, play that, you're down to 4. So basically with 8 trade in the late game, you could end up with 6 combat and 2 trade and from explorers. And of course, there's other cards that have interesting interactions. And those ally abilities are really important to keep in mind, because if there's a cheap card on the board, that's a faction of the card that you've played, you could potentially buy it to your hand, play it, and then trigger that ally ability. So I think ally abilities are a little more important this week. Keeping in mind that explorers can basically mean that you can trade, convert trade to combat. There's definitely some really interesting features in this one. But
if we're gonna talk about arena every week, then I'm gonna want to play arena all day on Tuesday after the stream.
It's super fun.
Else, but I'm I want to go play some of that.
Yeah, no, it's the arena is a blast, and it's a really neat format going on, and that's and then when you also win these trophy stars as you play arena, and they're basically just a bragging rights thing as you get more of them. And the player who gets the most trophy stars during a week gets featured in the app with a little thing congratulating them as being the winner for that week. So if you feel like, if you really like a format for the arena in a particular week, and you just want to crank a bunch of games of it and get you can win a bunch of those trophy stars and get some bragging rights.
So also, if you would like to play Rob on tomorrow, he's playing on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
We might be Darwin. We go back and forth between Rob playing, me playing, and Darwin playing. So
it is Darwin this week. So Darwin this week, Rob next week. So it alternates every other week. So if you would like to play Darwin.
Yes.
On Wednesday at 7, he'll be streaming on our Twitch channel. Let's see. Do we have any plans on releasing a new promo pack for Star Realms? I really want to complete my collection.
Yeah. So basically, we
promo pack 2 releases in 2031. I don't know if it'll take that long.
So yeah, it's on my the next promo pack for retail release is on my to-do list. So yeah, we don't have a scheduled date for it yet, but it is something that that we're looking at. And yeah, and that's the kind of thing where, basically we like to leave the Kickstarter, the cards that come out in Kickstarter exclusive to the Kickstarter for a couple of years, and then reprint them with new artwork. So the ones that you got through the convention or through a Kickstarter or whatever, they'll always be special for the artwork that they have. So you'll have bragging rights on that for forever. And then but the game mechanics will be reprinted. And so I think a lot of people have gotten promo pack 1, the super fun cards in that from the first Kickstarter and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna have promo pack 2 and 3 and 4 down the line.
Yeah. So Joseph here is saying, he'd like to set some things up with his local games, so with Gauntlet Games. I mean, once we have the tournament running, one thing that we talked about last week inside of the app, we could run a tournament or allow you to set up a tournament. I'm not sure yet about like how it will work for your game store specifically in the app, which, I think that would be super fun.
Yeah, we're definitely interested in allowing our fan community and game stores and stuff to host tournaments in the app. Logistically, right now, we're just step 1, get the tournaments functioning properly, without basically, there's always little bugs that end up crashing the app, etc. So, people who are in our beta test, have gotten to play some. We had one tournament successfully run, another one crash. So we're working, but basically we're working through the bugs.
Successfully run, and then we opened it up to more people. And
of course, yeah.
And that's why we are opening up to more people in open beta before we roll it out.
Yeah. So, and we're basically going to be stress testing it with, bigger events. Cause once it really gets going, like a lot of times, for some Star Realms tournaments, we've gotten over 100 people at like conventions and, et cetera. So basically we need to, we've been running smoothly at the, in the low teens. And then we did we had like, I think,
40,
it was 50 something registered, but only 31 actually, logged in to play for the last one. And we had some issues come up with that one, but we're gonna work through these bugs. But once we do, we definitely want to have features where stores and fans, fan communities like Board Game Geek and the Star Realms fan community page, et cetera, can host events. We got to work through the details on that. But ideally, I'd love for them to be able to. Yeah,
and there's a lot of fantastic tournaments that are run by the community. If you're not familiar with them, there's a post on Mega Holland, which lists Mega Holland blog, which lists the various tournament leagues, but we provide prize support, and there's so many different ones.
And we're going to continue to provide that prize support even once the tournaments are in app. So basically, if people want to keep running tournaments like asynchronously through challenge and et cetera, great. We'll continue to support that and send prizes for you guys and such. But we want to have that in-app functionality as well.
Yeah, if anyone wants to participate in the open beta, if you're like, what's this? I did not know this was an option. That is open to anyone that wants to join. Oh, wow. I just got my low battery alert here. I don't have my power cord plugged in. We do have that open beta. We are also very soon going to be opening up beta testing for the Hero Realms app. We'll let you know about it here. We'll let you know about it on our social media and on Discord. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. I'm going to be running out of power very soon.
I guess we're wrapping up
quickly. But it's really great to see everyone. It was awesome. We love talking to everyone every week. And thank you, everyone, for all of the awesome questions and comments. It's super helpful to us to know like what's on your mind. And, if you have questions, if you have any issues with anything.
And also when we're screwing up, it's good to get direct feedback on that so we can look and fix that problem. So,
yeah. So, okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.